Hello there, this is Ben Fournier, Benevolence Adicorum. Here's the second part of the game manual, though I haven't really looked to see how badly the first part did, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to try to do things completely as much as possible. Anyway, here's Sword of the Stars overview. Sword of the Stars is a hybrid game combining elements familiar to anyone who has played either turn-based or real-time strategy games. Here is a brief overview of how the game plays. Greater detail on all areas of the game will follow later in this manual, but it will be helpful to have the structure of gameplay in mind before proceeding any further. By design, Sword of the Stars is intended to be as simple and intuitive as possible for a 4X explore, expand, exploit, and exterminate title. Reference to the Daleks for anyone unfamiliar with, say, Doctor Who, like Tom Baker's was the best one of the older series, and I think Matt Smith was pretty good of the newer ones. Anyway, of the 4X titles. Once you learn a few basic controls, players should feel free to jump right into the game. The basics: strategy, empire management. In Sword of the Stars, most everything takes place during strategy turn. All aspects of your empire in those parts of the galaxy you control can be controlled here. From building and moving ships, designing new ships, researching technologies to colonizing, and maintaining your planets. When you've done everything you'd like to do for the turn, you click to end the turn. Once all opponents have ended their turn, their orders are carried out, and the movement of their ships compared. If no ships and planets encounter one another, then the turn is over and a new strategy round begins. However, if opponents don't encounter one another, then the game moves into real However, if opponents don't encounter one another, then the game moves into real-time I think they mean do. Anyway, if they encounter each other, then the game moves into real-time combat, because that's how it goes. Research, design. These are the things here for this. They're in the user interface. Research is that. Design is that. Building ships is that. Moving ships is that. Colonizing and other things you can do to a planet. Special there. I thought exceptional was the word now, right? And empire overview, aka keeping an eye on things, is where does it show? Oh, there. The budget. Alright, there's that, and the end turn button and all that stuff. We'll go into these things in greater detail later. For now, you just need to have a sense of how the game unfolds. When you've done everything you'd like to do for the turn, you click the end turn button. The game will then wait for anyone who hasn't completed their turn. Once all players have done so, their orders are carried out and compared. If there are no encounters, then the turn is over and a new strategy round begins. Excuse me, I'm trying to wake up here before playing the game actual. Anyway, however, if opponents do encounter one another, then the game moves into real-time combat. And I'm still yet to do that, even I think at turn 60. But I have a map of 350 stars, so it's going to be a bit maybe still, although it's still nearly like 1/3 full, so that's getting close to where it should be. The enemy fleets bumping into each other or making my worlds extra crispy. And then we'll see if my computer crashes for the strategy portion, or for the tactical portion, I mean. Strategy rounds have no time limit, but one can be set. This is handy in multiplayer games when there is a need to keep the game moving along at a regular speed. This round timer can be set during setup, restarting, or even mid-game as required. Combat, real-time conflict resolution. If two or more opponents encounter one another, then they are informed. It is possible that some players may have more than one encounter in different parts of the galaxy. In these cases, a player can allow the game AI to fight on their behalf. For example, if the encounter is just a couple of ships bumping into one another while they concentrate on more crucial engagements. All players are taken into their combat rounds to fight their opponents. If a player has to wait for combat to start, for example their opponent is in the middle of another fight, they remain on the strategy screen, where they can ponder their next move and even design new ships. They cannot issue any new commands, however, until the new strategy round begins. This is more relevant to multiplayer, which now it's no longer online, so you have to have like a LAN system or something. Anyway, while there is a great deal of depth to the tactics of combat, at its most basic level, it handles like an RTS. Left click to select a ship, or bandbox to select multiple ships. Right click to tell a ship where to move to, and left click to select an enemy target. And with games that have hit points, it's always best to have every ship target one ship, then just take out one after the other. In real life, simultaneous multi-vector fire is better, but for a game where you have hit points, just deplete all the enemy health bars one after another, and that reduces their firepower faster. Anyway, here we go. Later in this manual, there are more details on how to target certain parts of a ship specifically, how to use advanced weaponry, etc. But those 3 controls are all you need to get into a fight. In particular, you should read up on the camera controls, as they will help you change your view of the battlefield. Look closely to your ships and target very specific areas of an enemy ship. Once all combat has been resolved, all players are returned to the strategy screen and a new turn begins. Repeat until galactic domination is achieved. Combat rounds are 4 minutes by default, but this can be altered up to 10 minutes if the player wishes. Game cameras. Both the strategy and combat rounds involve moving a 3D view in some way. In combat, it is around whatever you are focused on: a ship, an asteroid, an enemy attacker. In strategy, it is around the galaxy map and research tech tree. 3D galaxy map camera. Dominating the main strategy screen is the galaxy map, which is a fully 3D map of stars. Moving around this map is important to sort the stars. Almost all other information on the screen reflects what you are looking at on the map, so once you know how to control the map, controlling the rest of the game is a snap. They made a rhyme. Camera focus. Double left clicking or clicking the middle mouse button on a planet or star will lock the camera to that object. Map rotate. By clicking and holding the right mouse button, then moving the mouse around, the map will rotate left, right, up, and down. Zoom. The mouse wheel will zoom the map camera in and out on the object to which the camera is locked. Excuse me. As you zoom in and out, you will notice that there are certain levels of detail to the icons associated with the stars and planets and fleets. A lot of this information is duplicated to the left on the sidebar, but it can be handy to see it on a map. If you don't have a mouse wheel, clicking and holding both the left and right mouse button, then moving the mouse forwards and back will accomplish the same thing. Handy hotkeys. Home, quick focus on your home system. That would be useful. I hadn't noticed that before. Tab or shift plus tab, or one is cycle forwards and one is cycle backwards, so tab, and shift tab if you missed it the first time. And then I, or shift and I, cycle forward and backward through your idle fleets. Awesome! That is actually useful. Home, tab, I, and shift is reverse direction. And V cycles the camera through preset distances. Interesting. Combat camera. Controlling the camera in combat is very important. A good commander knows when to zoom out for a wide view of a battle and when to zoom in close to the action. In a combat level, the camera can be rotated around your focus object, one of your own ships, as a default, by holding the right mouse button and moving the mouse up, down, left, or right. Camera focus. Click your middle mouse button on any object in the combat level, your ship, an enemy ship, asteroids, etc., and the camera will focus on that object. If you don't have a middle mouse button, you can hold your mouse over the object and hit the F key. Focus. And zoom is the next one. The mouse wheel will zoom the map camera in and out, so to the object which the camera is locked. This is very handy when you want to get close to see how much the ship has been damaged, or to carefully target your weapons. If you don't have a mouse wheel, clicking and holding both the left and right mouse Click and hold both the left and right mouse button, then move the mouse forwards and back, yada yada. Camera rotate by clicking and holding the right mouse button, then moving the mouse wheel around. The camera will rotate around whatever is your focus, left, right, up, and down. The combat turn has a sensor screen, a wireframe representation of the entire combat area. The combat turn has a sensor screen, a wireframe representation of the entire combat area. The camera controls remain the same as they do in combat. It's funny, my eyes gloss over it and I read it, but it's just like I was saying it hollowly, so it's like, that's what robots do. Great. I'm not a robot. Any hotkeys, 1 through 9. Recall any selection of group. Pressing twice focuses on the lead ship in the group. E or Shift E cycle forward and back backward through enemy ships. F focus on object on your mouse, same as middle click. Home focuses on and selects new reinforcements in combat. Tab or Shift plus Tab cycle forward backward through your individual ships. V cycles the camera through preset distances. Okay. Tech tree camera. The research screen is a 3D representation of the tech tree. The view of the tech tree can be changed using mouse controls similar to the 3D star map. Technology focus. Double click on the left mouse button on any visible technology icon. Double clicking left on any visible technology will zoom the camera in close on the icon, revealing more information about the technology. Double left clicking again will zoom the camera back out to its default position. Zoom. The mouse wheel will zoom the map camera in and out on the object to which the camera is locked. This isn't used as much given the snap focus described above, but it can be handy if you want to move back a little bit to see surrounding technologies better, but don't want to move all the way out to the default distance. Camera rotate. By clicking and holding the right mouse button, then moving the mouse around, the tech tree will rotate around in front of the camera, left, right, up, and down. Research and technology. The tech tree in Sword of the Stars is not typical to games where the player researches new technologies. Not only is the tech tree large, but the tree is dynamic. It'll be different for each player in each new game. Key technologies will always be available. Players will always be able to research up to the Dreadnought class of ship, for example. However, certain offensive, defensive, and infrastructure technologies may not become available in any particular game. Or at best, they will become available not by researching straight to them, but by researching related technologies in other areas. On very rare occasions, players may stumble upon new technologies in the wreckage after a battle, but this requires that a repair and salvage cruiser be stationed in that system. Cool. Except for the Zool, who are natural scavengers, they will pick up potential new technologies in general. These technologies will then appear as special research projects of Doom. Other controls. There are several other interfaces in combat. One of the most useful allows you to switch between battle and sensor view. Sensor view gives you a clean overview of the battle and is very useful for sorting out where everything is during a battle. In the full game, you'll be able to research better command abilities which will allow you to control fleets from the sensor pane as you would from the battle plane itself. Once you research battle computers, you can build ships with the squadron CNC mission selection. This will allow you to field more ships if a CNC ship is in the battle, as well as give you a reinforcement list. Fleets will reinforce themselves on their own before CNC, but with the CNC you can select the order they come out in. Example walkthrough. The following are to give you a sense of the flow of Sword of the Stars. They are by no means examples of everything one can possibly do in a single turn, but will help provide you with a sense of the minimum of what you should be trying at the beginning of the game. Strategic walkthrough. System update. Welcome to your selection of the galaxy. As you'll quickly see, SOTS, Sword of the Stars, is a highly graphic game. You'll be able to get loads of information simply by looking at the space around you. Right now, there isn't much to see. A 5-pointed star highlights your homeworld, and any additional colonies will be highlighted with your player color as well. If you're a human, you'll notice blue node lines extending from your colonies. These are your only routes of transportation for now. The camera is fairly simple. Holding down the right mouse button will allow you to rotate the camera around the object of focus while using the mouse wheel, or holding down both left and right buttons and dragging will zoom in and out. The first thing you'll want to do is to design extended range ships. These are incredibly useful for their price, being able to fight almost as well as any armor destroyers. Also, if you're playing human, the extra range will let you explore node lines that would otherwise be too long for your other ships. While you're in the design menu, you'll want to upgrade the basic ship designs you already have, especially if the game starts with extra text. Queue up some ships on your homeworld colonies. Remember, queuing a ship costs money, so early on you should only queue up what can be completed by next turn or two. This will keep you in the green, and hurt a lot less if you lose a colony. There are several sliders you'll utilize during strategic turns. The largest is the Savings Research slider. This determines where your profit goes. As you might expect, putting money into research speeds it up dramatically. Note, however, that the total cash flow in the Savings Research slider is dependent upon any construction projects you have going on elsewhere. For example, building lots of ships and colonizing high-hazard planets will take up a large portion of your income, and you'll notice diminishing returns on research speed and profits. You can redirect these construction funds back into your savings on planetary sliders. There are 5 of these: over harvest, construction, trade, terraforming, and infrastructure, and ship construction. You'll notice that each planet has a resource value which will stay constant throughout the game, barring meteor collisions and overharvesting. In the latter case, you'll notice your planet's resources slowly draining. For this reason, using overharvest is not recommended until you have a good deal of experience with the game. The remaining 4 bars are connected to each other. The construction and trade slider will determine where your colony is putting its construction points, while the others will determine where that construction money is going. Construction points put towards trade generate cash, while construction points put towards construction are used for building. If you have all your construction points in construction and there are points left over, the excess points generate savings. If you move any of the other 3 sliders to their maximum, you'll notice that the construction and trade slider moves toward construction. Infrastructure and terraforming will only appear on planets that have recently been colonized or been damaged in fighting. Once the hazard rating reaches 0, terraforming will disappear, and with infrastructure at 100, that slider will go as well. Finally, the ship construction slider allocates cash to your shipyards. The higher it is, the more money goes into building, and the faster your ships will be completed. However, that means less cash in pocket next turn. Tactical turn walkthrough. This is where the fun begins. Unless it's crashing, that sucks. Anyway, eventually you'll end a turn and a window will pop up with details for a tactical encounter. The window will show a list of you and your enemy's fleets, and give you the option of fighting the battle or letting the AI play through or auto-resolve. This can be toggled by clicking on the icon that looks like a pair of crossed guns. While auto-resolve can be handy, it is often better to fight manually, unless it crashes my computer, in which case it's going to be auto-resolve every time, and that'll look lamer, but, I mean, I'd like to play the game still, and if it crashes the other way, that would stink, so yeah. Anyway, as it gives the fighting manual, it gives you greater control over the outcome of the battle, and allows you to move your fleet with human creativity. Yep, that is the benefit of actually playing it through. Once you confirm combat, the tactical session will load. After a brief animation of the combatants entering the combat area, you'll be given command of one of your ships. As is conventional in RTS games, you can select multiple ships by bandboxing them while holding down the left mouse button. You can assign combat groups by selecting ships and using control plus a number. These combat groups will not be carried over into the next combat. Excuse me. Finally, you can switch between all ships under your command by using Tab. Note that until integrated sensors are researched, you must have a ship selected to see anything in sensor view. The camera controls are identical to the strategic turn controls. Note that you can use the middle mouse button to focus on any object in the combat area. If you are entering combat with an opponent for the first time, your weapons will be set to hold fire, as noted by a little red circle on the upper left hand side. Click it to allow your ships to fire automatically when they are in range and a turret has a firing solution. To give your ships a move order, simply right-click anywhere on the plane of combat. Remember though that Sword of the Stars uses Newtonian physics, so ships have a realistic momentum. If you fire your engines on full toward a target, they'll have to turn around and face thrusters in reverse to stop. Ships will automatically fire on any target within range, however, you can specify targets by left-clicking on them. A red circle will appear around the enemy ship. Your ships will fire as close to where you click on the target polygon specific as possible. Because of this, it is recommended you focus on the ship you want disabled to be able to target the systems you want to destroy first. You can even shoot off individual turrets, though you might not notice this until you research weapons with greater accuracy. So, targeting the right places on ships becomes very important, especially since different sections are more or less difficult to destroy. Like the middle of the ship, you destroy that and then the whole ship goes. Usually, I don't think there are exceptions to that, but that's what I usually did. Anyway, the tactical importance of this is obvious. Destroy an enemy's engines to leave it stranded. Destroy a tanker section and the enemy fleet won't have access to that fuel. Take out an armor section and those weapons will be destroyed with it. You also have access to several fleet-wide command behavior buttons. In some cases, it can be more effective to order all movement manually rather than rely on the AI protocols, as it keeps your fleet together and under your control. However, in larger combats, AI captain behavior can also be important. Almost all the information in battle is graphical. You will not find any health bars on your ships or the enemies. Ship sections will show signs of damage, allowing you to see which of your ships is about to blow, or which enemy targets are the easiest pickings. Alright. Well, I'm going to stop for now. And I guess that'll be it. I'll go through this later. So take care everyone, and try not to go crazy.